safety is one of, if not the primary reasons drugs fail. We have a unique situation where we have human safety data for over 1,700 patients treated for up to a year. Most programs in development don't have this much human safety data in phase 2 or even going into phase 3 for that matter, for any indication, let alone a rare disease like IPF.
Welcome back, everyone, for another Virtual Investor CEO Connect segment. My name is Janine Thomas, and I am CEO of JTCIR, and I will be the moderator. Today, we are featuring GRI Bio, and I am very pleased to be joined by Dr. Marc Hertz. He's Chief Executive Officer of GRI Bio. Welcome back, Marc. So happy to have you back on our platform.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're always happy to have you. And before we get started, I just want to inform our audience that GRI Bio is listed on NASDAQ and trades under the ticker GRI. And during today's discussion, the company will be making forward-looking statements which are subject to various risks and uncertainties. And I encourage everyone to view the company's website at gribio.com or the SEC's website for their latest filings and information. So today I'd like to focus our CEO Connect segment on IPF and the unmet medical need that exists. So Marc, to start, can you give a brief overview of IPF?
Absolutely. So IPF is a rare, chronic, progressive, fibrosing lung disease of unknown cause. So typically this is presenting in men in their 60s or 70s with symptoms of shortness of breath, dry cough, and fatigue over a period of months or even years. There are about 40 to 50,000 new cases diagnosed each year in the US, and it's a multi-billion-dollar market. Prognosis is poor, with a median survival of only 2 to 5 years from diagnosis. And the disease course is unpredictable, meaning there's progression characterized by irreversible declines in lung function ranging from gradual to rapid deterioration, ultimately leading to respiratory failure. And while treatments can slow the progression of IPF, a lung transplant remains the only curative measure.
Marc, thank you for that. So next, can you discuss the current treatment landscape?
Of course. So palliative care is an important component of treatment that can help with some of the symptoms like shortness of breath and cough, but these are just symptoms. These aren't cures. There are 2 antifibrotic drugs currently approved for treatment of IPF. These drugs can slow the decline of lung function, but do not change the overall course of the disease, meaning the median survival is not improved. Both of these therapies have significant side effects, which, coupled with a lack of improvement of overall survival, significantly limit their use. There's a huge unmet need for more safe and efficacious treatment options for IPF patients and their caregivers.
So Marc, you talk about this huge unmet need. What have been the biggest challenges for IPF treatments currently being used or in development?
Yeah, IPF is a complex disease. Repeated or prolonged injury in the lung drives the body's normal healing process to a process of fibrosis. And there's many steps between that initial injury in the lung and development of fibrosis. So, the first challenge is really finding a way to target all aspects of the disease. If you only target that initial injury, how can you hope to impact the existing fibrosis? And if you only target late stage fibrosis and don't address the upstream events that are driving that fibrotic response, it's kind of, is it too little too late to change the course of disease? So that's really the first challenge, targeting biology that can truly be disease modifying. The second challenge honestly isn't unique to IPF, but it's common to all drug development. The majority of drugs fail not due to lack of efficacy, but due to safety issues. About 2/3 of respiratory programs fail to progress from phase 2 to phase 3, and it's often due to safety issues that weren't identified in earlier studies. Now, the active ingredient in GRI 0621 has been evaluated in over 1,700 patients treated for up to a year. So, we have a significant amount of long-term safety data for this molecule compared to a typical molecule in a phase 2 clinical development.
Marc, really appreciate it. And I know you and your team are on a mission to finding a solution for IPF. So can you provide an overview of your lead program, GRI 0621, for IPF, and what gives you confidence it has the potential to be successful?
First, GRI 0621 is a small molecule inhibitor of a cell called a natural killer T cell, or NKT cell. And it's currently in a phase 2 study for IPF. These cells are critical in driving fibrosis, and we've shown that inhibiting the activity of these cells is therapeutic across many different preclinical models of fibrosis, from acute to chronic models, from liver to lung, showing that NKT cell involvement is conserved across so many disparate models of fibrosis gives us the confidence that we are addressing biology that is core to fibrotic disease. Now, the smoking gun, if you will, is that these cells are increased in patients with fibrotic disease and even track with worsening disease. As disease worsens or progresses, these cells increase in number and in activity in patients and may be a useful biomarker of progressive fibrotic disease. Secondly, NKT cells are involved at both ends of the processes that drive fibrosis. So kind of what I talked about earlier. They're some of the first cells recruited to sites of injury, but also impact the activity of cells directly involved in fibrosis formation. So to truly modify disease and have a chance to be curative, you have to address core biology driving the course of disease. Lastly, and I did already touch on this as well, safety is one of, if not the primary reasons drugs fail. We have a unique situation where we have human safety data for over 1,700 patients treated for up to a year. Most programs in development don't have this much human safety data in phase 2 or even going into phase 3 for that matter, for any indication, let alone a rare disease like IPF. While there's no guarantee, the likelihood that we would experience a program-ending safety signal at this stage of development is significantly reduced with the extensive human safety data that we have for this molecule.
Marc, appreciate all that background. So if you think about your lead program, GRI 0621, what does success look like for this program and what are the next steps?
Yeah, so GRI 0621 is currently in a phase 2A study for IPF. In phase 2A studies, the primary endpoints are typically safety and pharmacodynamics, meaning mechanism of action. So essentially, we're looking to show that the molecule is safe and that it inhibits NKT cell activity in this IPF patient population. We'll also look at exploratory endpoints around lung function, which is a component of the registration endpoint for IPF, and biomarkers of fibrotic disease that are responsive to treatment in this time frame that our phase 2A is running. We'll have interim data at the beginning of next quarter and top-line data the following quarter. So if successful, this study would support a phase 2B pivotal program for IPF. It's a really exciting time for GRI Bio with data just around the corner.
Well, Marc, certainly an exciting time for GRI Bio, but really the IPF community as a whole. So we are going to stay tuned for more information on your program and especially have you back after that upcoming data readout. For our audience, this does conclude the Virtual Investor CEO Connect segment with GRI Bio. I'd like to thank Dr. Marc Hertz for joining us today. And as a reminder, GRI Bio trades on NASDAQ under the ticker GRI. And if you like what you saw today, I encourage you to visit gribio.com for more information on the company and to sign up to follow the company to receive their alerts, as well as follow their social channels to stay current on the latest information. And you can also visit virtualinvestorco.com for a replay of today's event, as well as our latest segments and events calendar. Marc, thanks again. Can't wait to have you back soon. And I'd like to wish everyone a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Janine.